Why does iron rust? Why does food spoil? What happens when we burn something? It's all chemistry, and today I'll break it down super simply. Hi, welcome back to my channel Dream Draft. Learn, think, grow. Today our topic is chemical reactions and equations. What is chemical reaction? A chemical reaction is a process where one or more substances changes to form new substances. In simple language, it is a process जिसमें एक या दो substances क्या करते हैं, फॉर्म करते हैं न्यू substances को. Examples real life में क्या है? Cooking an egg, rusting of iron, burning a candle, digestion of food. ये सारी चीजें जो है ये किसकी examples हैं? Chemical reactions की. Let's do its definition. What is the definition? A chemical reaction is a process in which reactants are transformed into the products with new chemical properties. So chemical reaction में जो reactants होते हैं वो product बनाते हैं, पर वो जो product होता है उसकी जो chemical properties होती हैं वो बिल्कुल ही नहीं होती हैं. वो उन दो product से जो हमने reactant use किए थे उससे बिल्कुल ही अलग होती है. अब हमें कैसे पता चलेगा कि ये रिएक्शन जो है ये केमिकल रिएक्शन है वो हुई है या नहीं हुई? लेट्स डू इट. हाउ डू वी नो अ केमिकल रिएक्शन हैज हैपेंड? लुक फॉर दीज क्लूज. क्या क्लूज होंगे कि जब भी रिएक्शन होगी, हो सकता है कुछ भी इसमें से कुछ भी हो और आपको पता चल जाए कि रिएक्शन हो चुकी है या नहीं. क्या क्या चीजें हैं? चेंज इन कलर, मे बी उनके कलर में चेंज हो सकता है. चेंज इन टेम्परेचर, हीट प्रोड्यूस हो सकती है या ऑब्जॉर्व हो सकती है. फॉर्मेशन ऑफ गैस, फॉर्मेशन ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेट्स यानी कि वो छोटे छोटे सॉलिड्स आ जाते हैं. एंड चेंज इन स्मेल और टेस्ट. ये सारे क्लूज हैं जो हमें बताते हैं कि केमिकल रिएक्शन हो चुकी है या नहीं हुई है. Now, how to represent a chemical reaction using the chemical equations? For example, I have magnesium burn in oxygen to form magnesium oxide. अब इसे मैं वर्ड इक्वेशन में लिखती हूँ. वर्ड इक्वेशन में क्या होगा कि मैग्नीशियम ऑक्सीजन के साथ रिएक्ट की और क्या बना? मैग्नीशियम ऑक्साइड. और केमिकल इक्वेशन क्या होगी? Mg plus O2 gives us MgO. Here Mg and O2 are reactants and MgO is product. Now let's do balanced and unbalanced equations. A chemical equation must be balanced. That means the number of atoms of each element must be same on both sides. Why? Because of the law of conservation of mass. What is the law of conservation of mass? Law of conservation of mass says that the mass is neither created nor destroyed. कि अगर हमारे पास कोई भी रिएक्शन होगी तो हमने जितने रिएक्टेंट्स लिए हैं हमारे पास जो प्रोडक्ट होगा वो भी वैसा ही सेम आएगा. उसकी क्वांटिटी में कोई भी फर्क नहीं आएगा क्योंकि मास इज नीदर क्रिएटेड नॉट डिस्ट्रॉयड. इसलिए इक्वेशंस को बैलेंस करना बहुत ही जरूरी है. लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल. Here I have an example of hydrogen plus oxygen gives us water. But this is an unbalanced equation. What is the balanced equation? Is 2H2 plus O2 gives us 2H2. Now, how I have balanced this equation? Let's take an example. Iron plus water gives us iron oxide and hydrogen. Now we can balance this with 3 easy steps. What are the steps? Step number 1 says that write down the number of atoms on both the sides. Step 2 says balance one element at a time. And the step 3 says use the trial and error or a small numbers. Now let's try to balance. What is the equation? Equation is Fe plus H2O gives us Fe3O4 plus H2. This is the unbalanced equation. Now the first step says write down the number of atoms on both the sides. So let's write left hand side, right hand side. So here I have iron, hydrogen, oxygen, iron, hydrogen, oxygen. Hydrogen is 1, iron is 1, hydrogen is 2, oxygen is 1, and here iron is 3, hydrogen is 2, and oxygen is 4. And now let's write the equation here with some gaps so that we can write the numbers that we have used to balance equation. Now step number 2 says balance one element at a time. So we will do this one by one. So let's take iron. Here iron, on left hand side I have 1 atom of iron, and on the right hand side I have 3 atoms of iron. So we will balance this by multiplying the left hand side with 3. So we have balanced this. So we will put 3 here, and here hydrogen is 2, and here also the hydrogen is 2. So let's take oxygen. Here oxygen is 1, but here oxygen is 4. So to balance this, we will multiply left hand side with 4. So to do this, we have to multiply 4 here. But if we add 4 here, it will balance oxygen but unbalance the hydrogen. So here the hydrogen atoms on the left hand side, there are 4 2s are 8. So now we have to make this 8. So we will multiply this with 4 here and 4 here. This will balance. So on the right hand side I will multiply 4. This is the balanced equation. Always check that the elements are balanced. So let's take a recap. What we have done? We have done definition of chemical reaction. Chemical reaction is a process in which reactants are transformed into the products with the new chemical properties. And we have done the clues to check whether the chemical reaction has happened or not. And what are these clues? That there is a change in color, maybe there is change in temperature, formation of gas, formation of a precipitate, or change in the smell or taste. And we have done how to write a chemical equation. Mg plus O2 gives us MgO. Here Mg and O2 are the reactants and MgO is product. Next we have done how to balance and unbalance the equations. Why it is important to balance the equation? Because of the law of conservation of mass. What is the law of conservation of mass? The law of conservation of mass says that the mass is neither created nor destroyed. This is the reason we have to balance the equations. And here is an example, that is H2 plus O2 gives us H2O, and here we have balanced this. And now how to balance these equations? Here we have done only 3 steps to balance these equations. Step number 1 is write down the number of atoms on the both sides, balance one element at a time. For this you have to do trial and error method, or we have to use the small numbers. And here is an example that how the balanced equation is written as. Always check that the elements are balanced. Thank you. If you like the video, subscribe to our channel and hit the subscribe button.